Up next, doing a positive masculinity. Get excited for Amanda Lynn Deal, everybody.
Pull me over, not on the bed, lay me on your sofa. Phone before you come, I need to shave my choke chop. You do or you don't, or you will or won't chop.
You guys like impressions? Nice. If I'm ever back on this show and it's the same exact people in the audience, I will do an impression. Okay, so my name is Rigid Zips. Not to be confused with my father, Rigid. Well, his name is Richard, but it sounds like rigid. His name is Richard Zips. My name is Rigid Zips. I'm kind of an old school guy, kind of an old school comedian, kind of a road dog, if you will. What they don't tell you when you do comedy is that it's mostly just driving around. You're driving around for hours at a time for minutes of stage time, but it's okay. So, you know, when I was on the road, I had some merch. Do you guys like merch? Nice. I got some merch to sell after the show. So my catchphrase on the road was just driving around, which is pretty cool. And I thought I would, you know, do some cool merch for it. So I made some beer koozies. I actually took a second mortgage on my house for these beer koozies. And on these beer koozies, it says, just driving around. But it turns out, if your beer's getting cozy in a koozie, you probably don't want the phrase, just driving around on it. So, you could put your LaCroix in there, you know. You could put your LaCroix in a LaCruzy. I'm trademarking that. A LaCruzy. I actually did submit a slogan for LaCroix. Would you guys like to hear it? Nice. So this is my slogan that I sent in to LaCroix. It says, LaCroix, what do you think it tastes like? You're probably right. And they didn't pick it up, which I thought was unfortunate. But I do have these LaCruzies after the show. If you want to buy them, that'd be pretty cool. One thing that I get a lot as a road dog on the road, as a guy on the road, you know, being the little road dog comedian, one thing that I get is there's a lot of creepy men in comedy, it turns out. And a lot of men want to approach women, and like, I don't want to come off as a creep, but I want to approach women. And I tell them, hey, if you see a woman being alone by herself, maybe just leave her the fuck alone. That's just that's what I gathered. So maybe don't. But if you do, maybe don't bring religion into it, because I think a lot of guys think it makes it less creepy if they bring in religion. And whenever they like lust after a woman, they're like, hey, don't do that. Imagine she's someone close to you, like your sister. And they're like, nice. And I'm like, hey, hold on. Because I don't know if you guys read the Bible, but the first part is oops, all incest. So... Yeah, maybe don't sexualize that nice young lady. Think of her as someone you respect, like your mother. And they're like, nice. And I'm like, no, it's not what I'm trying to say. I'm like, come on, get your head out of the gutter. Imagine she's someone you really respect, someone who's like a matriarch of the family, like your grandmother. And they're like, nice. And that's fucked up. Porn really ruined it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. I got some ideas, you know, being a comedian on the road. It's also really hard being like an older generation boomer comedian on the road, you know. I don't want to offend anybody, but there's this thing, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's paperless toilets. Have you guys heard about this? Paperless toilets? What? Yeah, that's nuts. It's like paperless email, but for toilets. And the first time I heard about it, I was like, what? Spray my ass with water. That'll be the bidet. Okay. All right. Accidental feminist. So I got my period super hard the other day. We all heard about the strawberry moon. That's just most visible in my underwear. It turns out it's chunky, like a jam. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know if it's me or Rigid Zips tonight. We'll find out, okay? This is all of us together tonight. It's crazy, though, because, okay, maybe I should do these jokes as Rigid Zips. Should I do feminist jokes as Rigid Zips? Okay, all right. Strawberry moon. More like strawberry, oh no! You know? Oh no. Unless you don't want that kid, then strawberry. Oh yeah. It's the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. And he's all, it's chunky. And you're like, what? Yeah, it's nuts out here. It's nuts. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a lady. I don't want to take anything from their struggle because I'm Richard Zips. I'm the old school comedian you heard earlier. But it's nuts. I befriend women, not in a creepy way. You can do that. You can be friend zoned on purpose. Did you know that? You can just like to have relationships with women. Man, that's a cool thing to have anyways. Yeah, strawberry moon. That's just nuts. Okay, so a friend of mine was going through a period, and I was like, yikes! I empathize with that. That's a very difficult struggle to have. And she was telling me that she's on a lot of birth control, my friend. Like a lot of birth control. She told me she took all the Nuva rings and just shoved them in her cooch, you know? Like, she told me, and I quote, she could play ring toss right now. Holy shit! She's on a lot of birth control. But every time the moon comes out, she still bleeds, and that's insane if you think about it. Because what's all the birth control for? You think it's so they don't get the period, and then the moon. So like I get men like to say things like, "Oh, I don't believe in all this superstition, but I wore my lucky underwear today, so my team's gonna win." It's the same shit. Shut the fuck up. I think men are very dumb, and I think men need to listen to women, okay? Because it's very scary. If you're on birth control and you still bleed chunks out of your body, that's not normal. You should probably call someone, but who has insurance, you know? Now my friend, she's struggling in these streets, you know? It's very scary. It feels very much like a werewolf shit if you think about it, you know? Because whether you believe in it or not, when the full moon comes out, just, oh, werewolf shit, you know? It's intense. And what do people on their period and werewolves have in common? They want to fuck, they want to fight, they want to feast. Werewolf shit! Or as a lot of men like to call it, you're kind of being a bitch right now. Which is insane. Because fellas, I did a little Google. You can do it too. You can just Google stuff. Turns out it's right there. You can Google it. Did you know that the reason that people on their periods act like werewolves is because it's more testosterone in their system? So they're just acting like we do all the time. So we're like, you're being a bitch right now. It's kind of like we've been a bitch the entire time we've existed. Men are bitches. I think that's fair. Women are too emotional. They might start a war. Have you thought about what men have done lately? Have you thought about it? Oops, all wars. Kind of fucked up. Think about it. Yeah, it's nuts too, because, you know, I'm on the road, I'm doing comedy, I'm meeting a lot of people, and a lot of men are like, oh yeah, I like your jokes about periods, because it's funny, because it's a man saying it, not a woman, because women are scary, no snowflakes or whatever, and they say shit like that to me, and then they're just like, yeah, that's so scary, you know, like I could never do that, but also like gross. And I'm like, what? And they're like, gross. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, I'm a manly man. A lot of men out here on the road, they got their big trucks and their big opinions. You might have seen them out here. There's a guy in my neighborhood who spray painted on his truck, if you voted for Biden, you owe me gas money. And he drives around to tell people that. That's a lost man on a lost cause, you know? Grow up. But I drive a hybrid, you're welcome. And I just want to follow that guy, tailgate him, cut him off in traffic on the back of my Ford Escape. It says, if you voted for Trump, you can suck my huevos. Which is pretty good if you took Spanish, because that's eggs and balls. That's a twofer. It's pretty good. These men are out here and they're like, I like to change my own oil. I'm a fucking manly man. I'm a fucking manly man. Change my own oil. Don't mind getting my hands dirty. But not my little pee-pee. Like, what? Come on! Come on! No period sex? Come on! What's more metal than a bloody dick? Get in there, you know? Feed her, fuck her, get the fuck out of her house. Werewolf shit. I guess that might be funnier if a woman says it, but I'm a man saying it. Imagine it's a lady who's a feminist saying all these jokes right now, and it'll be funnier for sure. But hey, okay, all right, I gotta go. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'm gonna end this the real way. So I've been doing that stupid ass character, Rigid Zips, for a long fucking time. It's my favorite because it's like a dumb man who's accidentally a feminist. And I was doing that, I was hosting mics, I was doing shows as that guy, didn't say anything, and then I would just transition to period jokes. And it was fun, for me, probably only. And and I had a really good time doing it, and it was getting a lot of traction when I first moved to Portland. And I remember doing that, and I was getting booked as Rigid Zips a lot. And then I had an existential crisis. And Ben Harkins was there when I had that outside of Funhouse, because I was hosting the mic as Rigid Zips. And Ben Harkins, Portland's funniest person, 2024, cool dude. And I was like, dude, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm so fucking mad because I get more bookings as a dumb man than a smart woman. Think about that for a second, though. That will fuck you up internally. And Ben Harkins, as only Ben Harkins can do, went, Amanda, you know that we know that it's a smart woman being a dumb man, right? I said, touche. And that's why he's Portland's funniest person. I've been Amanda Lynn. Thank you guys so much.
Still buzz, they feel cuz they know the flow's ill.